Online political debates are some of the most popular content around, and it's not really exclusive to either side of the political spectrum. There is a whole debate culture in leftist YouTube circles, just as there is with right-wingers. And then of course you have more mainstream political debates where sometimes they're in person with these political personalities. But of course I'm making this video because of Steven Crowder and his, so-called debate with Sam Seder, which took place on Ethan Klein H3's channel. So what I wanted to use this event to illustrate is how these right-wingers who claim to be like debate gods, like you can debate them on anything and they'll crush you and they'll crush the SJWs and leftists, how they're actually not very good at debating, and they actually have built their reputation as good debaters by targeting people who may not be the best at debating. And then when the time comes and they're actually challenged legitimately, they whine about it being unfair or an ambush, or you're a secret leftist, to someone like Andrew Neil. Ben Shapiro said that. So we're going to get into all that stuff today. But before we get any further, a lot of my work on this channel is demonetized because when you're covering more serious, sometimes edgier topics, YouTube doesn't like this. So if you've ever enjoyed my work, please consider becoming a patron. And you don't have to pledge a crazy amount. I want to build up my Patreon based on as many people as possible pledging little amounts, like $1 or $2. So if you feel like I have ever brought anything that's worthwhile into your life and my content, please really consider becoming a patron to help me continue to do this regardless of if YouTube monetize or not most of my videos in a given month. Also, if you want to join our communities, come check out our Discord and my subreddit. Those links in the description. And if you want to follow me personally, please check out the Kavernacle at Twitter, at Instagram, and also my personal Reddit, where you can keep up to date with all my content and what I'm doing. Thanks so much for the 35k. I still haven't bought the chocolate orange. Every 5k we get a new chocolate orange. I still don't know how to organise it. I'm just thinking of putting one on the top and then shifting it along when we get to 40 or something like that. In the comments, let me know if there's a better way to organise this stuff. Also, people often ask, why is your video private? The video is not private. It was a live stream that I private and then I upload on my archive channel, the Kavernacle Extra. Go subscribe to that if you care about that stuff. So let's first get started with the Sam Seder stuff and how this event was planned. So basically, Ethan Klein had invited Steven Crowder for a debate on his channel. Now, Ethan Klein, although does talk about politics a fair bit, he's not like this big political debater. So Steven Crowder agreed, probably thought it'd be an easy win. Now, many right-wingers have been avoiding Sam Seder's open invitations for debate, including Steven Crowder. And Ethan Klein thought it'd be fun if they would sneak Sam Seder on the debate and just see what happens. Because, Steven Crowder, this big macho man, says he can crush anyone in debate, has this whole thing about debating anyone, change my mind because, I'm so strong in my beliefs and, you cannot debate me out of them, that no one's going to change that and no one will challenge that. So at the last second, Steven Crowder pulled out, and I'm going to let Sam Seder explain what happened.
I get a DM from Ethan, like a week later or something like that. And he says, hey, Steven Crowder wants to debate me. And he's like, I don't do a political show. He's like, I think you should come on and debate him as I'm, on with him. And I was like, I would love to do that. Ended at 12:30 p.m., which was 30 minutes before the debate that
11
Crowder,
to 12:30.
Yeah,
if you guys remember
that Crowder had planned with Ethan Klein on H3, and so we connect with H3 through Zoom, and immediately after we're done with the show, and then 4 or 5 minutes later, they go, oh, we just got an email from Crowder's dad that Steven had an emergency, and Ethan says they knew that you were getting off your show early, and they're afraid that you're going to be debating him.
So I don't know if there was something actually wrong with his wife, but it seems like he may have just been watching the Majority Report because he was scared that Sam Seder actually might just pop up on this stuff. And then, of course, the next time, Sam Seder did pop up. And how did this occur? Well, basically, they pre-taped some of their show to run at the same time as Steven Crowder's appearance on Ethan Klein's channel. So it would trick Steven Crowder into thinking that Sam Seder was actually busy, and there is no way in hell he could be on at this moment.
No, they rescheduled it for 12 p.m. on Monday Eastern, which is exactly when we go live.
That's so weird.
We pre-recorded the intro and the outro to make it for today at like 10:30.
And so what happened was Dan figured out some technological sorcery, because we got him so good because we put all the ball in his court. It was his Zoom call. They sent the link. They sent the time. They felt very comfortable that there was no way for us to get him. So we joined their Zoom link this morning, and Dan, as I said, figured out some black sorcery where he could zip Sam's feed. He could cross the feed. So we got to the point where we're like, okay, well, let's do this thing. And then kind of Sam just popped up.
So the trick worked, and Steven Crowder appeared on Ethan Klein's channel, and then Sam Seder shows up for a political debate. So I'm gonna play that for you right now. I really didn't want to watch this when I started watching like little clips. I was like, I can't handle the secondhand cringe. I don't know if any of you guys are like that, where when something's so cringy, I physically can't watch it, even if the embarrassment is at someone who is like totally awful, like Steven Crowder. But I did watch it for you guys, and now you guys can either choose to watch it or don't.
Steven, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a nightmare.
Thank you,
I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are.
well,
Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you? I said I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own
I gotta
fighting.
say,
It's just hilarious.
my
Let's bring on the
producers
FM.
that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
Yes,
at the
that's right.
beginning of
Joe
this
Rogan.
was-
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting
Sam
to get
Seder.
your audience by jumping in. Want to do it?
Let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If no
on.
one's
I'll tell you what.
worried,
I have a general
This is a
rule.
great opportunity.
I don't start a
to-
debate based with people on a lie. And how
Or
about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get
Steven,
to
show yourself, you coward. Steven, show yourself.
30th
Don't show
of the
your
audience.
co-host.
Ethan, you should show
Steven,
yourself.
excuse-
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Something so strongly
you are
that you're
such
not
a
willing to
coward. Stop
debate.
showing your little
I
leprechaun
thought you would
co-host who
welcome-
comes
Right,
out
right.
dressed
Hey,
like
Ethan,
your
Ethan, come on,
sidekick.
Ethan, why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy who has-
Steven.
Don't hide behind the
Don't
glass.
be a
Sam.
Don't say
coward.
let's debate, Ethan. You've
I
lost
will-
Coward.
All right.
Debate
This
the
is sad.
issues. What
This
does it
is
matter
sad.
who you
Shut
debate,
up.
coward?
All right, good. You guys are
Wow.
good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah,
We
you
knew
can
you
give me
would
the
run
X.
away.
This
You
is-
run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow. Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
Admitted that he watched the show last
We
week.
got
We went
him.
early.
Now, obviously, that is both hilarious, but also insanely pathetic. The fact that he quickly goes off camera and cuts it to like his number two, where they'll both talk about Ethan Klein being a coward and needing someone to step in to fight his battles for him. And at this point, surely if you're Steven Crowder, you just like do the debate, because it probably won't be as embarrassing as what you did here. His words are getting quicker, his voice is getting more trembly and high pitched. It's clearly this is like really, really rattled him. And he knows, I guess, he's out of his league. Like, Sam Seder has a reputation as a decent debater. So he knows that if he goes for this debate, he'll be pretty much embarrassed on his political positions. So at the very first chance, he flees. Now, lots of people have been trying to defend Steven Crowder's actions. And if he was someone else, maybe I could say, like, oh, like, fair enough, he didn't agree to do this debate. But when your whole premise is, I'm going to sit at a table and I'm going to talk about a political subject, and no one will be able to change my mind, basically, because I'm the best debater and I'm so strong in my beliefs. Anyone will not be able to change my mind. Not only that, I've literally made like a career of this stuff. Conservatives, is this your hero? Is this your debating god? Is this your debating king? How come he flees from a legit debate with someone who might know what they're talking about, and when someone surprises them with a surprise debate, they also flee? Again, doesn't seem like a macho conservative who's very, sure in his beliefs and sure in his debating skills. But again, he's made a whole career of this. So look at this. Male privilege is a myth. And he's debating loads of people. It's 90 million views. Student edition, Change My Mind, The Students Debate, Part 1. Male privilege is a myth. Change My Mind, the first one, 15 million views. There are only 2 genders. Change My Mind, 40 million views. Student edition, Part 2, 2.1 million views. Socialism is Evil, 7.3 million views. Now, what these guys often do is, of course, he controls the content, right? If he was totally destroying a debate with someone at this table, you're not going to see it because it's on his channel. And basically what they do is when someone decides to debate them and doesn't do so well, or it looks like Steven Crowder might have a bit of an edge on them, that's the stuff they upload. But even then, like, when you watch this stuff, you only really think Steven Crowder is winning if you come at that with, like, really, really strong conservative beliefs in which you agree with everything he says. And that is a problem with a lot of political debates in general, is that it's just about the spectacle and you have a team that you're cheering on. Now, this follows a long tradition, I guess, started by Ben Shapiro. Now, it's so ironic, and there's a nice little segue, is that the Daily Wire comes out with an article called Steven Crowder Showed Why We Shouldn't Engage with Debate Me Bros. Do these guys just have, no sense of irony? Ben Shapiro is a debate me bro. Steven Crowder is a debate me bro. If you're going to say people like Vosh or Sam Seder are debate me bros, you've made your career on owning leftist college students, owning 18-year-olds with how smart you are, only for when you get challenged to run away. And we're going to get to Ben Shapiro's interview with Andrew Neil next, but let's read some of this article and just see the total hypocrisy. So there's a relatively new social phenomenon that has appeared in recent years, fueled in particular by social media and online video platforms, debate me culture, also known as debate me bros. There are various online figures who, often with nefarious intentions, seek out debate both online and in the real world. The strategy itself is ingenious. If the target of the debate accepts and the low risk opportunity for notoriety is provided, with which the debate me bro can promote their own ideologies. This is literally talking about Ben Shapiro. Usually in front of an audience much larger than their own, if the target of debate declines, then the debate me bro can claim hypothetical victory by repackaging such refusal as ideological cowardice on the part of their opponent. Ben Shapiro literally did this to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He offered her 10 grand to debate, and then she compared it to a cat call where she doesn't actually owe him anything. Then he got all outraged, saying discussions and debate are not bad intentions. Slandering someone as a sexist cat caller without reasonable evidence does demonstrate cowardice and bad intent. However, this article is literally written about Ben Shapiro. And please keep that tweet in mind with the next bit of this article. Of course, the tactic ignores the obvious reality that every individual has the right to freedom of association. There is no God-given right to social interaction or the platform which someone else has built. You're agreeing with her and not your boss, Ben Shapiro, who has constantly done this throughout his career. So it goes on to say, its application is hugely effective for those who exist in the arena of attention-seeking stunts. For them, debate is not the goal. It's simply the artificial veil used to hide their hungry desire for notoriety at all costs. Who the hell works for the Daily Wire and doesn't realise Ben Shapiro has done this for years? So such an attempt was on full display as Ethan Klein labelled conservative commentator Steven Crowder a coward after Sam Seder crashed Klein's debate with the host of Louder with Crowder, understandably refusing to engage in a debate following the bait and switch. After all, would you be expected to continue a date if your partner was replaced halfway through the evening? Because those are totally comparable things. This obvious and arguably pathetic desperation for attention is unfortunately an extreme example of what debates have become. Long gone are the days of substantive discussions and actual issues. Instead, a debate is now little more than the opportunity to gain attention from oneself by any means necessary. If this can be achieved without even discussing the supposed debate issues, all the better. To understand this reality, we must ask how debates are now judged. For the vast majority of mainstream public debates in recent history, what were the metrics used to determine the victor? Rather than be a measured assessment of which participant put forward the clearest and most convincing formulation of their ideological position, we view the debate winners as the person who achieved their viral movement, as the person who owned their opponent. In other words, the winner is the person who was able to make their opponent look like the biggest jackass. This article is written without irony by Ben Shapiro's outlet, The Daily Wire. Now, let's also look at Ben Shapiro's debates on YouTube, and they're saying for Spectacle, the viral moment, these are like 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute clips of his so-called debates of college students that have gone viral because they got millions of views. The first one, Ben Shapiro shreds pro-choice argument, 6.4 million views. Ben Shapiro explains basic biology to a college student, 700k on Ben Shapiro's own channel. Young America's Foundation, which Abby Shapiro's husband works for, winning. Shapiro educates smug, egotistical SJW on basic logic skills. Again, 3.4 million views. So satisfying. Shapiro completely mops the floor with his smug SJW, 2.4 million views. Shapiro debates liberal students. Ben Shapiro destroys socialism. So literally every single thing that was written in that Daily Wire article could be applied and should be applied to Ben Shapiro. Now, if this was talking about people like Ben Shapiro, I'd have more respect. The fact that this article has been prompted by Ethan Klein and Sam Seder is so ridiculous. Because Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder made their careers on this stuff, the viral moment, and let's not forget, they are taking like low-hanging fruit. They're debating people who often do not have debate skills. They're young people. They're still forming their political ideologies. And these people are in their 30s, pushing 40. And Steven Crowder looks terrible for that age. Anyway, it's not a fair battle. And when the battle is fair, they run away. So here's another great one, right? To show how great these debaters are. Ben Shapiro against Andrew Neil. And this was 2 years ago. Andrew Neil is a really famous hard-right conservative in the UK, holding leading positions at many of the worst right-wing publications in the UK, now is head of GB News, the UK's answer to Fox News. This guy is one of the most conservative people in mainstream, I guess, journalism. Ben Shapiro comes on for an interview, not even really a debate. Completely melts down because the problem with Ben Shapiro in the US, he's been held up as this debate king, the smartest guy in the conservative circles. Ben Shapiro always has a great take on stuff. Even if you don't agree with his politics, you must agree he's smart. But when he gets exposed to people outside his echo chamber by someone else who's conservative, it both shows how far the Overton window in the US is that these guys are apparently on the same level, despite this guy melting down and calling Andrew Neil a leftist because he asks simple questions. And how the level for intelligence in the US is measured among conservative circles, that this is your champion, this is your debate king. So for a refresher, this is what Ben Shapiro said to Andrew Neil when he was asking him about his old tweets about Arab people and previous statements, and basically about Ben Shapiro's book, which was talking about civility, and he was like, you've basically made the discourse toxic in America, so who are you to talk about civility? So Ben Shapiro said, accused Andrew Neil of being a liberal and said, I frankly don't give a damn what you think of me since I never heard of you. I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer, so I think we're done here. Shapiro said, why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is it so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest? And Neil said, Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. And Ben Shapiro basically left the interview. Again, just like Steven Crowder. So embarrassing. Won't engage in the debate when there is a level playing field. In this case, he is being interviewed by Andrew Neil, who Boris Johnson wouldn't even take an interview with on the run-up to the 2019 election because he was scared of him breaking down some of Boris Johnson's own hypocrisies and everything like that. So Ben Shapiro gets a fair challenge. It's not even a debate, it's just an interview, melts down because he's not used to this playing field. These guys are used to picking on young people, young students, and a lot of the time in their viral debate clips, they don't even win the argument. They're just the guy with the podium and the fan base, and Ben Shapiro just talks quickly and he's being asked a question and it makes it seem like he's smarter than he is. But again, when the platform is fair, these guys melt down. And just for some fun, this is what The Spectator, that Andrew Neil used to be the editor of, wrote about the thing afterwards. And it said, Ben Shapiro is the famous fast-talking conservative pundit who regularly owns aggressive university students with his quick wit and rapid repartee in America. Alas, Shapiro isn't so crazy smart when he comes up against difficult questions from a real interviewer. Yesterday, he just couldn't cope with an interrogation from the BBC's Andrew Neil. He decided that Neil must be a typical BBC leftist, complaining at one point he never heard of him, had an epic tantrum before storming out of the studio. He then realised his blunder that he'd confused rigorous questioning with political leftism, and was about to become a laughingstock, so then he sought to use Twitter to row it back. Mr. S wonders if American pundits are far less used to robust interrogations. And that is like the heart of the matter there with this sort of debating thing in America, is that picking on university students who are like 18 and 19 about stuff and owning them in viral debate clips and everything like that. That's all well and good for boosting your profile, but like your own Daily Wire article said, that's not the good measure of debate. Doesn't mean you won the political argument. Doesn't mean you won anything, really. You're just doing it for your own personal gratification. And it's hilarious that both these people, the debate kings, especially Ben Shapiro, at the first sign that they might lose an argument, they run away. They run away like cowards. They don't stand and fight back, fight with their logic, destroy leftists with logic and facts. They just run. They whine like babies, act like it's unfair, act like the questions are unfair, and then because it's not on their terms, because it's not their YouTube channel, because it's not Fox News, because it's not their own platform where they control how they look, they have to run because they're scared of being exposed as the idiots they are. So to those who say Crowder was ambushed, even if he was 100% ambushed, surely the debate king, the guy who will sit at a table and take on anyone, can make a little time to take on Sam Seder. Why can't he do that? What's he so scared of? Of course, like Ben Shapiro, they're scared of looking like idiots. They're scared of being exposed for people who aren't smart, people who don't really possess great debating skills. Now, I just want to pivot this for a tiny bit at the end in terms of how I feel about debates in general. So we talked about the right and everything, and this is something on the left, and people ask me sometimes, would you do a debate? Would you go on a debate stream? Someone's tried to organise a debate between me and Conservatives before, and basically, even on the left wing, I feel debates are kind of pointless. The only time I really agree with it is if there is something you're very passionate to defend. So one Twitch streamer, I'm not going to name them, they're smaller than me in terms of their platform and YouTube and Twitch combined. They were saying stuff like socialism is inherently violent or something. And I disagreed with them on Twitter and they said, feel free to come on my stream and we can debate this. I never got the invite to debate this. I would happily go do that because I want to respond to this like pretty gross misconception, and I just feel it's important to debunk that sort of stuff. But then most of the time I feel like online leftist debates is about drama, it's about clout, and if I'm going to keep it real with you, I'll be honest, if I got invited to debate something I didn't really have a knowledge in, I'd literally be doing it for clout. I would maybe go on debate stuff like international relations, history, stuff that I feel like I'm very informed about in terms of like I can give a good perspective. I'd go on and talk about British politics, for example. But if it was like, come get, Kavernacle on for something totally irrelevant, like the Pride discourse, I would just be like, there is no way I'm going to do that, because why would I join that? I have nothing important to say to that conversation. I'm not from a group who this is about. It would just be for clout or for drama. And then often what also happens is these debates just, devolve into like a boxing match. And with the more like edgy streamers like Vosh, often it really gets away from being about anything with merit. It's not really a discussion. It's about who can throw in some insults, who can provoke each other. In general, I don't really like Twitch online debate culture, no matter, what political side it's on. I just feel like it's a bit meaningless. And if you enjoy that stuff, that's totally fine. It's entertainment. But I feel like that's pretty much what it is. It's entertainment, unless someone is bringing like their expert knowledge to the table to debunk some popular misconceptions. But a lot of the time, yeah, I feel like entertainment, if you like that stuff, go for it. I don't care. I don't watch it. But I do not think it's like extremely helpful or anything. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Follow me on social media at the Kavernacle. Come join our communities on Discord and Patreon if you want to support my work continuing. Look at my Patreon down in the description. Also, I stream 2 times a week. My stream schedule is going to be a bit weird because I'm going on holiday next week. But the stream archives go up on the Kavernacle Extra, so subscribe to that channel if you want to keep up with that. And if you made it this far, thank you all for watching.